Abigail, will you stop pacing?
I'm burning off nervous energy.
Oh, you do realise we left school years ago. There's nothing this headmaster can do to us, right?
I know. Although that is easy for you to say. I seem to remember you getting called before the headmaster a few times back in the day.
Ah, a rebellious phase in your youth, Deputy Dan?
For the millionth time, I'm on sick leave, and even when I wasn't, I was never a deputy. And no, I never got in trouble for anything serious, just the occasional scrap in PE.
You know teenage boys, playing football on an even school field with a tatty ball but might as well be the World Cup to them.
What about you? Ever have to go and see the principal?
No, of course I never technically went to school.
Wait, what?
I never went to an official school. The orphanage I grew up in had specialist tutors who taught us things like maths, literacy and the like. I did well in most subjects. They weren't really a fan of me in religious studies, though.
Didn't you used to be a Catholic, though? Like, surely you knew all of that stuff.
Oh, I knew it, but I was on very bad terms with God by that point.
Man, imagine growing up in an orphanage run by nuns.
I bet they're a lot less sexy than the nuns you're thinking about.
In what universe are nuns sexy?
Oh, when their outfit is made by Ann Summers. Ow! What?
That was like 1,000,000 years ago.
I never said anything about you. You just gave it away.
How? How did I get stuck with you two clowns as partners?
Miss Corbin, Mr. Hunter, Mr. Cowell,
Yes?
please come on in. Please sit down. I'm Edwin Warwick, the principal here at Eastwood High School. This here is Isabella Marwood. She is our school's guidance counsellor.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Likewise.
It's nice to meet you, ma'am.
Mr. Hunter?
Yes, sorry. I was on another planet for a moment.
James?
Huh?
We're in a school?
Oh, yes. How can we help, Mr. Warwick? Lockers eating people alive? Ghostly student in the history classroom, perhaps? Or maybe an evil janitor haunting students in their sleep?
Excuse me?
Sorry, he woke up on the wrong side of the bed today. What he's trying to say is it's unusual for a school to call experts in the paranormal.
Quite. I have to say I agree, Miss Corbin. Calling you in was Miss Marwood's idea. And to tell you the truth, I'm at the end of my rope, and I decided it was worth a punt, as they say.
You were at Vanderburg Academy last year, weren't you? The night that poor girl fell from the roof.
How did you know about that?
Well, doing what I do for a living, a student committing suicide on school grounds like that, it's my job to prevent tragedies like that from occurring, you understand? So I took an interest in the incidents, and an acquaintance of mine who teaches there told me they'd seen you around.
Our reputation precedes us.
We tried to stop Kayla from jumping, really we did.
Oh, of course. I apologise. I didn't mean to sound accusatory. I don't consider any of you responsible for that poor girl's death. Vanderburg is too old-fashioned of an institution for its own good, and they refuse to engage with the latest research in child psychology. And can you believe that what passes for a guidance counsellor at that school is a part-time church reverend? Imagine living in the 21st century and thinking we need less science and more religion in our schools.
Actually, that's my...
But something happened here. I mean, there's a reason you called us, isn't there?
Unfortunately, we've had a tragic incident here ourselves.
Tragic like Vanderburg tragic.
A young woman, Chelsea Patrick, committed suicide in front of several of the other students.
Oh my God.
When did this happen?
A little over a week ago, Tuesday before last. We shut the school down for a few days, of course. Today is actually our first day open since the incident.
Well, what can you tell us about this girl? Did she seem depressed? Did she have many friends?
She was a popular young lady, well liked by the majority of the student body and by the teachers, for the most part.
Well, Chelsea always had a little trouble paying attention in class. You know how it is with girls that age, much more interested in boys and pop music than algebra and classic literature.
Sexism aside, why invite us here? The girl's death is tragic, but there's hardly anything supernatural about a teenager killing themselves.
There's more.
More deaths?
No, thank God. Bloody hell, could you imagine? Ofsted will shut us down faster than you can blink.
For the last 6 months or so, things here have been strange. Faculty report things going missing. Textbooks they use daily will be suddenly unreachable on a high shelf. All the pens in a classroom will be missing. The PE teacher, Mrs. Halstead, found her car with all 4 tyres slashed and all 4 windows broken the other week. No one in the student body owned up to it, and the CCTV cameras we have in the car park mysteriously blinked out during the event.
Ghostly activity?
We honestly don't know.
We don't know what the hell is going on. All we know is we don't like it and we want it to stop.
There is one student, Ruby Williamson, who seems to be linked with most of these events. She's a lovely young woman, but she's having a tough time fitting in. She doesn't really have any friends, and several of the other students call her names. Obviously, we step in where we can, but there are times, such as during lunch, when there aren't always teachers around.
I would highly suggest you and your team start there, Mr. Hunter. This young woman is the troublemaker. I'm sure of it.
What makes you so sure?
I've been an educator for 40 years. The last 15 of those, I've been the principal of this school. I know a rotten child when I see one.
Well, based on that very scientific conclusion, I think we should ask around, see what other students know about her.
Excellent idea, Abigail. Mrs. Marwood.
Ms., if you please.
Apologies, Miss Marwood. Could you perhaps run me through this Ruby Williamson's records? I understand there's a degree of confidentiality between counsellor and student.
Of course. Look, there are things I can show you. If you'd like to follow me.
You two talk to the students, see if you can find anything out.
On it.
Leave it with us, sir. We'll have this case cracked in a jiffy.
In a jiffy?
Shut up. Right, so how do you want to go about this then?
Okay, well, you try talk to some of the faculty. I'm going to go blend in with the student body. I bet I can borrow a spare uniform somewhere.
Wait, you're going undercover as a student?
Yeah, why not?
Abigail.
What?
Oh, come on.
What?
Look, I mean this in the nicest way possible. But you're 25 years old. Nobody's going to believe you're a 16-year-old student.
Don't be silly. I can totally still pass for 16.